Okay, so today I'm going to do a YouTube video on books that made me cry, which as you can see, the pile is large. I'm just going to start with an Ellen Hopkins book. This book, okay, I freaking bawled my eyes out. Like, honestly, I think most of Ellen Hopkins books do make me cry. But this one I cried, okay? Oh my god, it was so good though. Yeah, I bawled my eyes out with this book. Do not even get me started on this book. Okay, I freaking bawled. So it's not even funny how hard I cried with this book. I was sobbing and I literally stained the pages with my tears. Like the ink smeared on some of the words where I cried so much onto the pages. So yeah, this book I cried really hard. Ooh, which one should I go with next? We're going to save this one for last. Catching the Rye by J.D. Salinger made me cry. Like, Holden Caulfield is my baby. Like, do not mess with him, okay? And I freaking bawled my eyes out with this book. I was just like, I don't know, I was in tears with this one. It was so good, and it was just like, don't know. It was so good. I cried really hard, though. The next book that made me cry is A Spectacular Now by Tim Tharp. Honestly, I really like to set her on a spiritual level, which should concern me, but it really, I guess it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe just a little bitty, concerns me, like that much. Look at the space between my fingers. But, yeah, I bawled my eyes out, because it's just I don't know, I cried so freaking hard. It's just like, no, let me love you, it's okay. I was bawling. It was a good book. I recommend all of these books I've talked about so far. The next book that made me cry is Letting Anna Go, and it doesn't really have an author, it's just anonymous, so I'm guessing it was written by a real person, maybe? All books are written by a real person, you know what I mean, but I'm guessing it was written by the person who's telling this story. This book, oh my god. In case you couldn't tell the title, it is about anorexia, so it can be quite triggering if you're going through something like that, so I do not recommend reading it if you're easily triggered, just like these two books can be quite triggering as well, because this one does talk a lot about alcoholism and depression, and then this one talks about, I guess it's a bit of alcoholism, not nearly as much as in this one. This one just basically focuses on depression and suicidal thoughts, and this one is basically like self-harm, suicide, drug abuse, and then this is abuse and depression. So, all of these books can be quite triggering if you're easily triggered. So don't read them if you're easily triggered, honestly. The next book that made me cry is By the Time You Read This, I Will Be Dead by Julie Ann Peters. This book made me cry. I finished this book in I think 3 days, which is pretty good at the time because I was in the middle of first semester. I was supposed to be studying for finals, but this book happened and I didn't study for finals. But hey, I passed most of them. Holla. Yeah. But again, this book is triggering. It talks about suicide and self-harm, and yeah, it can be quite triggering. Just don't read it if you're easily triggered. So, yeah. The next book that made me cry is It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. Oh my god, this book was amazing, but I bawled my eyes out. And oh my god. It was so good. It was such an awesome book. I feel like it did such a good job covering the topics it needed to cover. I'm rereading it right now, actually. I felt like it did such a great job of covering the topics it needed to cover and really hitting on different subject matters, and I don't know, it was really, really an amazing book. The movie is absolutely incredible, by the way, so you guys should go check that movie out if you're interested in that. The next book that made me cry is Suicide Notes by Michael Thomas Ford. This book, I bawled my eyes out, okay? Like, I felt so bad for the main character. I just wanted to freaking just wrap him up in a blanket and hug him and just make him hot chocolate or whatever. Like, it's okay. You're gonna be okay. You don't have to. It was like, I cried. And again, I got this book in the midst of finals. Literally, I think I got it the night before my last final exams. And of course, I was reading it instead of studying for my final exams, but that's just who I am. Yeah. But yeah, I recommend this book again. It is triggering, so be careful. And as you can tell, I have highlighted paragraphs that I liked. I don't actually know when I started doing this, the highlighting of the paragraphs. I'm not sure when I started doing this, but it's kind of just a thing now. Whenever I read a book, I highlight paragraphs in it that I like or that stand out to me or quotes I like or whatever. Let's see. The next book I have is Looking for Alaska by John Green. I bawled my freaking eyes out with this book. It was so good though, and I've heard they're making it into a movie after Paper Towns, which is sitting on my bookshelf right now, which actually that's not the only John Green book. The Fault in Our Stars also made me cry, but I don't actually see it on my bookshelf right now. I know I have it. Someone might be borrowing right now. I can't remember. But yeah, this made me cry. Tifios made me cry, but I think I cried more with this one than I did with Tifios. I don't know. Maybe. Could be because Alaska reminds me a bit of my sister. I don't know. But yeah, this book made me cry. A lot. Yeah. No, we're gonna do this one last. Okay. This book, actually, my friend gave me this. Let me borrow this. I don't know. This book made me cry. As you can tell, it's about self-harm, so it could be a bit triggering if you're struggling with something like that. But it is an amazing book. I cried so hard. Okay, I died inside a little bit. I cried, but it was a really, really good book. Oh yes, let's just pull the entire Divergent series in front of my camera because they all made me cry. Allegiant especially. We won't talk about that one in great detail because, well, no. Divergent made me cry, of course. If you've read any of the Divergent series, you understand why. I don't have a cover on Insurgent. I don't know what happened to it, actually. And Insurgent, of course, made me cry as well. Allegiant did make me cry for more reason than one, but we won't say it because I don't know. I won't say why because I will start sobbing, okay? Oh yes, the next book that made me cry is Dangerous Creatures by Kami Garcia and Margaret Stohl. This is a spin-off series from the Beautiful Creatures series, which is sitting on my bookshelf as we speak. Yeah, I bawled my eyes out, both from OTP feels and just feels in general. So yeah, I cried really, really hard with this one. I don't know. Okay, I saved this one for last because, well, I'm still not over it yet. And I finished it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, I think. And I'm still not over it. I bawled my freaking eyes out. I have never cried this hard over a book. Honestly, in my opinion, I think this is sadder than Allegiant, Tifios. This is sadder than all of these books in this pile put together. I literally bawled my eyes out. It was like hysterical crying, like where you can't see, it's just like you don't know what to do, and it was like that's the kind of crying that came with this book. But don't get me wrong, don't want to scare you guys away with this because yeah, I bawled my eyes out, but this book is absolutely incredible. It is so beautifully written, and it is just, oh my god, I can't even stress how incredible this book is, okay? This book is just gorgeous, and oh my god, it is a love story, which I usually do not like love stories this much. But this is a different kind of love story. It is just, oh my god, it is just gorgeous. I can't get over how gorgeous this book is, and it's just incredible, and just, I can't. It's, oh my god. And look at the cover. The cover is so amazingly cute. Look, you've got the violet and then the finch, and it's like, screams, flaps arms obsessively. And this is a gorgeous, gorgeous book, and it's just, oh my god, it is incredible. It has some incredible quotes in it. It's just phenomenal. The dialogue is incredible, and I just cannot stress enough that you guys need to pick this book up and read it right now. Like, go buy it from your bookstore. Get it from the library. Something. Just read this book, please. It is so, so good, and this book, obviously, honestly, it needs a bigger fandom because it is so, so good. It's beautiful. Okay, well, I've been ranting for a full, solid 2 minutes about this book. But, yeah, so those are the books that made me cry, which is quite a few, and my bookshelf is slightly empty because... Oh, yeah, and I left 50 Shades of Grey over there, but that made me cry, too. Yeah, 50 Shades made me cry, too. Now I have the hiccups. This is what happens when I get excited about books. I get the hiccups. Okay, well, I'm gonna go now. Bye.